Underdog Fantasy is the easiest place to play fantasy sports. It's also the fastest growing fantasy app in the industry. In the pick'em game, you can pick whether your favorite players will have a higher or lower stat total in that week's game for a chance to win big. And as you already know, I'm going Josh Allen higher in yards every single week. So sign up today with promo code Buffalo Fanatics and get your first deposit doubled up to $100. Visit underdogfantasy.com or find them in the App Store. And don't forget to register with promo code Buffalo Fanatics to get your first deposit doubled up to $100.
You're listening to Rated Red on the Buffalo Fanatics Network. What is going on, Buffalo Fanatics? Hey! Happy early holidays to everybody in the house. What is poppin'? Man, I'm so glad to be here with you guys for another special Thursday night edition of Rated Rev, baby. Shout out to everybody who's joining me right now in the chat. Do me this favor. Smash that like. Hit the subscribe button if you have not already done so. And then go to supportbf.com, baby. Follow us on all of our social media platforms. Oh, I'm excited. I'm excited. Grace and peace to everybody. Patrick said, yo, looking good, Santa. Man, hey, I appreciate it, man. You know, I got to get festive, man. I got to get festive. And I made sure, I told the wife, I said, hey, run to the store since you're out and pick up a little something for me so I can bring it on live to the show. I got to set the vibes, you know what I'm saying? So she did what she had to do, and I appreciate her 1,000%. But hey, y'all let me know if you can see this here live on the show, because I've got a little special treat in addition to the shirt and the hat. Y'all check this out real quick here. Let me go ahead and see if it works. Boom, baby. Can y'all catch it? Yeah, man. Yeah, man. This shirt, the sweater lights up. You know, man, yo, hey, I had to go big, man. I had to go big. Shout out to wifey for hooking me up with the nice shirt. Lighting up and whatnot. Y'all let me know if you can see it. But nevertheless, I'm thrilled to be here. I'm thrilled to be here. Happy holidays. Merry Christmas. To everybody who's joining me live again, grace and peace. I appreciate it. Big Time Bean says, yo, that's dope. Linda West says, yo, Rev's lit. Hey, I had to do it. But again, shout out to everybody, man. Shout out to everybody. And do me this favor also while you're here. It's a roll call. So throughout the show, just drop where you're watching the show from live in the chat. And we're going to do it. I've got a jam-packed show for you guys tonight on this special edition of Rated Rev. Tonight, we're going to talk about the Chargers, Bills, and the Chargers preview. The Buffalo Bills are surging, and they're in playoff mode right now. And later on in the show, about halfway through the show, halftime, I've got a special guest who happens to be my brother. He's going to be joining the show. He is a diehard Chargers fan. And so I'm going to bring him on the show here a little bit later on to get his ideas, pick his brain about how he feels about the matchup and everything that's going on and that's transpired with the Chargers, so far, and how he's feeling about this game. So make sure you stay tuned for that. Don't go anywhere. But I would not be remiss if I did not jump right on in and talk about that heck of a game last week. I was trying to upload, a little highlight clip, but it was too big. And the more I tried to delete it and clip it, it was still too big. And I was running out of time. And so I was trying to pump y'all up about that. But nevertheless, I'm going to do my best to pump y'all up. So let's talk about that game last week. First and foremost, man, if you guys loved the way the Buffalo Bills showed up and showed out last week against the Dallas Cowboys at Highmark Stadium, drop a fire emoji in this chat right now. Because I don't know about you guys, but I was feeling every single minute of that game. I told you guys, I don't know if I mentioned to you guys last week. I think I did. My wife is a Cowboys fan. So you can imagine, just what it was like during the game. We had, matter of fact, I'm going to do this. No, I ain't going to do it. I ain't going to do her like that. I'm not going to do it. I was going to show y'all a before and after picture, but I'm not going to do my wife like that. But we took a picture. It was me, my wife, and then my youngest daughter, the one who came on live last week and kind of gave her prediction of the game, Erica. She came in, and so the three of us, we took a selfie, and then we're all mean mugging each other, whatever, at the beginning of the game. You can imagine the way my wife's face looked towards the tail end of that game. Matter of fact, when I went to go back over there and get an after picture of her, she stuck her hand out like that, like she didn't want to see me. She didn't want no parts of it. So anyway, yeah, man, hey, we had a great time. My wife didn't have a great time, but I had a great time. My daughter had a great time. All of Bills Mafia, I know you all had a great time at that game. That game was fantastic. I told you guys last week. I told y'all. I said, I feel confident. I felt very confident about that game going into that game. I felt like the Bills were going to cruise to victory. Now, cruise did not necessarily mean a shellacking, but I felt like it wouldn't be difficult for the Bills. I felt like as long as the Bills showed up, both on offense and on defense, and special teams as well, because I had a guy that I was eyeing that Turpin guy. I was like, man, look, we cannot let that guy loose. But anyway, I felt like as long as the Bills did their thing and continued to build upon what they've been doing since Joe Brady really took the helm, I felt like the Bills would win the game, because regardless of the record of the Dallas Cowboys and the record of the Buffalo Bills, I felt like the Bills were the better team, and our record did not indicate just how good we are. And so I felt like, hey, man, I mean, yeah, the Cowboys, I thought the Cowboys were going to score. I absolutely did. I think I went on and predicted a 28-20 victory by the Bills, because I just thought, like, hey, the Cowboys, they have weapons on offense. Dak Prescott, CeeDee Lamb, Jake Ferguson, the tight end, Tony Pollard, I felt like they were going to be able to score on the Bills. But it was going to be a fairly easy game. Man, oh man, was I wrong. The Bills came out and whooped the brakes off of these Cowboys. And what happened to all of those Cowboys trolls that were all up in the chat last week? The Cowboys trolls are all up in the chat last week, man, and they were talking a whole heap of trash. They're calling me clown for acting like the Bills are gonna just cruise to victory and all that. What happened to them? Where'd they go? All that yapping, all that talk, where'd they go? They're not here tonight. Obviously, they weren't. They were on a hush mode. America's team put on hush mode, muted after that game. They got embarrassed. They got humiliated. They got destroyed. They got shellacked. They got run out of the gym. Oh, whatever you want to call it. That's what happened. That's what happened. And I loved every minute of it. The Buffalo Bills beat the snot out of them to the tune of 31-10. And they didn't win the way I didn't think they would win. And maybe you all agree with me, maybe you disagree with me. But the way in which the Buffalo Bills won last week was a revelation and a complete surprise to me. They didn't win. If you were to tell me at the beginning of the game, you know, somebody had a crystal ball and they said, hey, and all they had was an ending score, and they said the Buffalo Bills are going to beat the brakes off the Cowboys and win 31-10. You would probably assume that Josh Allen he threw for about 325 yards or so, had about 3 touchdowns. James Cook probably had a touchdown rushing, whatever. But Josh led the team to victory. That's probably what you would have thought, because I know that's what I would have thought. But that was not the case. The Bills won not on the shoulder and the strong arm of Josh Allen, but they won on the legs of James Cook. James Cook, the chef, literally carried this team to victory last week to the tune of 25 carries for 179 yards rushing and 1 rushing touchdown. And that's not even his passing yards. But let's just pause for a second. To those who may have said that James Cook is not a premier alpha running back, it looks to me that he proved you wrong. Proved everybody wrong. That James Cook is not a workhorse back. He cannot carry the load like that. Give him the ball about 15 times or so, but anything over that, you know, he's just not built for it. Well, my gosh, look at this. 25 carries and ran for almost 200 yards. That let me know that the brother could carry the rock. Ladies and gentlemen, I think it is official. The Buffalo Bills have found their workhorse back in James Cook. Can we all agree? I think we all can agree that James Cook is the new workhorse back. Not this running back by committee type of nonsense that we've been accustomed to the past, few years. No, I'm talking about the bona fide RB1, baby, only coming off the field situationally or just to take a blow, a breather. James Cook, man, 25 carries. And we're going to talk about James Cook here. I don't want to get too far ahead of myself here when it comes to James Cook, but I had to highlight him quickly because I was not anticipating the Buffalo Bills winning that game on his legs. I was not. You look at Josh Allen's stats, not even pedestrian, it's mediocre. Mediocre. 7 for 15 passing, 94 yards. If you saw that just a stat sheet, you would have thought the Bills got embarrassed. No. But Josh Allen himself, he said, yo, I felt like the kid in the group project who didn't do a thing but got an A. That's how you felt. And that's how that's kind of how it seemed, right? But sometimes that's what it takes to win a game. And that's not to say that the Bills could not have won with Josh throwing the ball. It just goes to show you that you have to do whatever's working. And you have to be willing to do it consistently until the defense can stop you. And that's why I so appreciate Joe Brady. Can we just take a moment right here to give Joe Brady a round of applause? I mean, throw some clap emojis right here in the chat for Joe Brady, because when's the last time we've seen a Buffalo Bills offensive coordinator do what works and continue to do it over and over and over and over and over and over and over again? Like, I mean, granted, Brian Daboll would do it. I mean, he would do it regardless if it worked or didn't work. You know what I'm saying? But he was like allergic to the run game. But here we got Joe Brady going into this game. I'm assuming he felt like the Bills could run on this team. I mean, one of the top defenses in the NFL. But nevertheless, he went on ahead and had a game plan and ran the rock over and over and over and over and over again. And it didn't stop. It didn't stop. And then at halftime, I don't know about you guys, but I was like, the Bills are up 21-3. I was like, man, this run game is on fire right now. I hope that Joe Brady coming out of halftime does not abandon the run. Because we saw him do it against the Chiefs. They went away from the run in the second half, and that allowed the Chiefs to get back into the game. And I was like, man, that was my only concern. Do not abandon the run. Run this rock down their throats until they can prove that they can stop it. And to my surprise, and I'm sure to your surprise, Joe Brady did just that. He came in at halftime and said, we're not changing the doggone thing. We're going to run this rock until they can stop it. And the Cowboys won no parts of the Buffalo Bills in that run game. They ran all over the Bills. I mean, all over the Cowboys. I mean, it felt like that. You guys remember that Bills-Patriots game? Remember that a few years ago where the Patriots just ran all over the Bills? It kind of felt like that, right? It really did. Except they put up 31 points on these boys. 31 points. Absolutely nuts. I couldn't believe it. But that's what leads me to doing this right here, because I have got to go ahead and not just give shout outs, but it's time for some Revs roses, baby. I've got to give out some roses to some well-deserved players who helped these Bills cruise to victory last week. And if you have a candidate who you believe is deserving of a Revs rose, you go ahead and drop that in the chat. Drop their name in the chat, followed by a rose. Drop it in the chat right now. But number one, off the rip. And I already mentioned him, but it's James Cook. It's James Cook, man. Right? I mean, this brother, like I mentioned, he just took over the game. 25 carries, 179 yards on the ground, 1 rushing touchdown, averaged 7.2 yards per carry. And then on the receiving end, 2 receptions for 42 yards, right? 21-yard average. He had that long one and a receiving touchdown. James Cook just took over the show and took over the game. And not only did he do that, we saw just the performance that he put up against the Dallas Cowboys, who, by the way, are no slouches on defense. That's one of the top defenses in the National Football League that they just ran all over. But James Cook was awarded the AFC Player of the Week because of his performance. So shout out to James Cook. James Cook, if you're watching, my brother, will you accept this rose? Number two, Rev's rose goes out, and we're staying on offense, baby. It goes out to my brother, Dion Dawkins, the snowman. The snowman. You already should know, baby. You know what I'm saying? Dion Dawkins, Kim Betts is already on it. Kim Betts, the snowman. Y'all with me? Dion Dawkins. I mean, really the entire offensive line. I mean, G716 says, the entire offensive line. I agree. But, I've got to go with Dion Dawkins, the snowman, because you guys saw that clip, right? You guys saw that moment where Dion Dawkins was blocking his defender 20 yards down the field and put him in the dirt. Like, that's what you want to see from your Pro Bowl caliber left tackle. He's a leader of the offensive line, and you want to see that guy because when he does that, that fires up the entire offensive line, and people are ready to run that rock. They're ready to do it. When you've got a guy like that blocking his guy 20 yards down the field. Dion Dawkins, man, he's having a monster year. No doubt he's having no doubt he's gonna be in the Pro Bowl. I would venture to say that he's having an all-pro season. Dion Dawkins, fantastic performance last week against the Cowboys. Dion Dawkins, my brother, will you accept this rose? Now, flipping over to the defensive side of the ball. I have to give a shout out to this brother right here because I talked about him last week from one of my matchups. I said, man, look, this brother is going to be matched up against CeeDee Lamb. And CeeDee Lamb is on a tear right now. They've been running him outside and in the slot. And when he gets matched up on the slot, this brother right here is going to have one heck of a game because CeeDee Lamb is that dude. He's him. But to my surprise, because I was like, he's kind of sus in coverage at times, but he was up for the challenge. And my man, Taron Johnson, had himself a game. I mean, he did his thing on CeeDee Lamb. I mean, there's clips. And Rico put it out. I want to see if I could find it. But I don't know. I don't know if I have time to go through it and do it and look for it. But do me this favor. Go back to the Rico report. Last night, Tuesday night, Rico had on his guest, Carl Jones. And Carl Jones was talking about Taron Johnson. And he had a clip that he posted on his own Twitter page showing what Taron Johnson did on CeeDee Lamb. And I tell you, he freaking put him on lock. He put him on lock, man. I'll admit, I did not think Taron Johnson was going to be able to do that. But he absolutely did. Matter of fact, here it is. Let me share my screen with you guys. There's no audio to it, but I just want to show you just a little bit of what he posted here. So give me a second here as I share my screen from Carl Jones on Twitter at Jones11, Twitter X, whatever you want to call it. Anyway, you guys let me know if you can see it here in the chat. There it is right here. Let me back it up. So there we go. He's got Taron Johnson up here, eyed in the slot. CeeDee Lamb. He locks him up right here. Here he is on the bottom of the screen. Got CeeDee Lamb again. Boom. He's breaking tackles, going over here and tackling look like Jake Ferguson. Here he is again right here on CeeDee Lamb. Look at this. Locked. Almost came down with a pick. And I'll be honest with you. I mean, if not for the fact that, I love the Bills. I mean, I was kind of like, CeeDee's my dude. Like, I love me some CeeDee Lamb. I really do. I'm an OU fan, and so like CeeDee's my guy. So when it comes to receivers, it's like, you got, for me, it's Steph Diggs, but CeeDee Lamb, man, is a close second for me because, I loved him coming out of college. Absolutely loved him. But Taron Johnson put that brother on lock, clamped him up. CeeDee Lamb finished the game. I bet you would have never guessed. CeeDee Lamb, 7 receptions, 53 yards. That's it. That's it. Nothing really to, I mean, what is that? That's average for him. But Taron Johnson did his thing against one of the premier wide receivers in the National Football League. So Taron Johnson, shout out to you, my brother. Will you accept this rose? And then last but not least, I have to give one to this particular gentleman right here. And maybe it's controversial. I don't know. I don't think so. Al Stone says number 7 balled out. Yes, he did. Yes, he did. This last rose goes to a guy who has been under fire for the past few weeks now. I mean, every decision he has made has been through a microscope and dissected it with a fine-tooth comb. I mean, every single thing this brother does. And in spite of all of the adversity and the talk and the smear campaigns, this man right here has continued to lead this team and been very steadfast in his approach. And I have to give a shout out and a Reds rose, to the one who is leading this franchise. That is none other than head coach Sean McDermott. Head coach Sean McDermott, ladies and gentlemen. I know it. Look, I was on record, and really, like, y'all gonna learn. You learn this about me. Like, I'm really not a prideful guy. Like, I really don't care if I'm wrong. I'm wrong. I don't have any issues being wrong or being called out, or whatever the case may be. I was on record as to say that, man, I did not have any faith in Sean McDermott going forward to lead this team over the hump to the Super Bowl. I felt I was questioning some of his in-game decisions. And then most importantly, I did not like, at the time, I did not believe that Sean McDermott had what it took to make the switch at offensive coordinator, to get rid of Ken Dorsey and promote Joe Brady. All of this was at the conclusion of the Broncos game. I was like, yo, man, look, I don't have faith in this guy. And I don't think that he's willing to remove him. I mean, to get rid of Dorsey. I just didn't believe it. I did not believe it. We saw how long it took him to move on from Leslie Frazier, right? I mean, I was adamant at the conclusion of last year, when the Bengals game was over in the playoffs and Bills got humiliated. I did not like Dorsey. I was like, yeah, he needs to go. But a lot of people were like, no, give him another year. That was his first year. McDermott was like, yo, that's his first year. We're gonna be with him, all that kind of stuff. I was like, man, he's just not gonna get rid of him. He's not gonna do it. And lo and behold, I mean, it took him long enough, but he finally did it. And that shocked me because I didn't think he was gonna do it. Maybe it's because his seat was hot. Maybe he felt that the heat turning up on his own seat. And he's like, I gotta make a move because if we miss the playoffs, my job is on the line. So whatever is the motivating factor for Sean McDermott, I'm glad he did it. But nevertheless, he has been so incredibly steady amidst everything that's been going on. And he led his team to probably one of the best wins for this team of the season. The Cowboys were red hot. I think they're on a 5-game win streak. We heard talks of Dak Prescott MVP. Cowboys could be, the Super Bowls and all that kind of stuff. I mean, this was a team that was on fire, leading the league, I think, in points scored. I think they had they were just killing the game. Sean McDermott went out as a defensive coordinator, calling the defense, and shut these boys out. If not for a garbage time touchdown, these boys would only have 3 points. Bills would have beat them 31-3. 31-3. Dak Prescott finished the game 21-34 for 134 yards in the air, 1 interception. Tony Pollard on the ground, 11 for 52, no touchdowns. Receiving, we talked about it. CeeDee Lamb, 7 for 53, no touchdowns. Jake Ferguson, 6 for 44, no touchdowns. Brandon Cooks, 2 for 10, no touchdowns. Michael Gallup, 1 for 9, no touchdowns. They were shut out the entire game. The entire game. They scored that field goal in the second quarter, and they did not score again until late in the fourth quarter. Shout out to Sean McDermott, man. Sean McDermott coached himself a fantastic game. And Sean McDermott, will you accept this roast? And while we're still here talking about Sean McDermott, this is a perfect time for me to segue, because I have to ask the question, has your opinion of Sean McDermott changed? Has it changed at all? Because for me, I'll be honest, right now it's changing. It's changing, okay? I still want to see this team get over the hump in the playoffs. They have a long road ahead, right? They have to get there first this year, and they really have to work hard, okay? But if they get in there, which I believe they will, they need to prove that they can get over this hump, okay? And so my opinion is changing. It hasn't completely changed yet, but it is changing. Sean McDermott has done some things that I absolutely like. He hasn't been coaching conservatively like he normally has, especially towards the end of the games. He did against Philly at the end. It cost him the game. But since then, he's been very aggressive. So it seems like he's learning his lesson, and he's like, yo, I've got to continue to be aggressive and keep my foot on the gas late in these games. But let me give you some stats. Since Sean McDermott made the change at offensive coordinator at the conclusion of the Denver Broncos game, the Buffalo Bills have played the New York Jets, the Philadelphia Eagles, the Kansas City Chiefs, and the Dallas Cowboys. All 4 of those teams, okay? And they have come out 3-1 with wins against the Jets, Chiefs, and the Cowboys. And if not for a fluke end of the regulation game in Philly, we could be talking about the Bills being 4-0 since the change at offensive coordinator against teams that are tops, upper echelon of the National Football League, the Eagles, the Chiefs, the Cowboys. You know what I'm saying? But nevertheless, 3-1 against those teams, okay? On offense, since the change, the offense of the Buffalo Bills have averaged 29 points per game. It's like 29.25. You might as well round it up to 30 points per game, okay, since then. The defense has only allowed 17.5 points per game in that span. So when you look at it, just from that perspective and at that moment, you can see the shift. You can see the change in Sean McDermott. You can see the change in the offense. You can see the change in the entire team. These guys are ready. These guys are locked and loaded. And none of it would have been possible if not for the leadership of head coach Sean McDermott. So again, I ask you, has your opinion changed of him? And I want to take some time right now to kind of go through the chat so I can see what you guys are saying. Laura says, yo, time will tell. Time will tell. And I agree with you on that. Time definitely will tell. We have to see going forward what they do. And for those who may be on the fence, for you, is it still Super Bowl or bust for you? Like, if the Bills don't get to the Super Bowl this year, are you at the point where you still want to get rid of Sean McDermott? If the Bills miss the playoffs, are you ready to get rid of Sean McDermott? Even after what we've seen here in the last 4 games, are you still at that point? Or are you encouraged by what they've done in the tail end of the season? But you're like me, maybe like, I wish you would have made the decision earlier to move on from Ken Dorsey, because there's no telling where this team would be. Right? Let me know what you think in the chat. Mr. Free and Clear says, he may be able to hide his flaws with this team, though. Well, what do you mean by that? What do you mean he may be able to hide his flaws with this team? Are you saying that because this team is so good, that his stuff is covered? I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, we saw what happened a couple years ago in the divisional round against the Chiefs. 13 seconds. The team is phenomenal. That team was so on fire, nobody wanted to play him. Josh Allen toe-to-toe against Pat Mahomes. He walked out the field a winner. But at the end of the game, poor coaching decisions cost him that game. So, I mean, his flaw wasn't hidden. His flaw was not hidden. So, I'm interested to know just exactly what you mean by that. Al Stone says, keep McDermott because, Dogsy was a problem. And I know he's talking about Dorsey. Dorsey was a problem. I agree with that, man. Dorsey definitely was a problem on offense. Sal says, McDermott has a lot to prove in crunch time. I would say in crunch time in the playoffs. That's for me. That's what I would say. In the postseason, in crunch time, let me see what you do. That's kind of where I am with that. But nevertheless, I'm pleased with Sean McDermott. I'm pleased with what the Bills have been doing over the past few weeks. It gives me encouragement and hope, because I don't know if you guys see the same team that I see, but it looks like this team is on fire. And we've seen this team get on a run late in the season in December, probably the last couple of years, right? I mean, we saw them do it last year, but even the year prior, when they went to that divisional round game against the Chiefs, I mean, there was a point in the season in December where they were second place in the AFC East and the New England Patriots were in first place. And the Bills had to go on a run. And I think their run started after they lost in overtime to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And they kind of flipped the switch. You saw it in that game that, okay, this team is changing. And they were able to go on a run the rest of the year. And then the Patriots lost some games, gave up the division to the Bills at the tail end. Bills came in. We saw what happened. The rest is history. And I'm wondering if there's like a parallel between that season and that moment against the Buccaneers when the Bills won in overtime and lost in overtime, but you saw them coming back. If there's a parallel between that game and kind of to the Eagles game, right? You look at that Eagles game, it's kind of similar. Maybe not exactly the same, but similar to a degree. The Bills were climbing back, had the lead. The Eagles got started climbing back, but they went into overtime, and the Bills lost in overtime. But the point that I want to make, and that I think is probably similar, is that we saw the Bills hang in with, at that time, was probably one of the best teams, one of the best 2 teams in the National Football League, between them and the Niners. At that time, I think the Eagles only had 1 loss on the ledger. And so they hung with that team throughout the entirety of that game, and they have no history playing them recently. And they were in their house at Philly in the rain. And I think that sparked something. And not only do I think it sparked something in the team themselves, but I think it sparked something in Sean McDermott. And it let him know that, hey, I've got to make a change in the way I coach at the end of these games. And from that moment on, and then, of course, after that, you had the Tyler Dunn piece that came out bashing Sean McDermott and talking about his character, whatever. I think all of that culminated in the Bills kind of having a chip on the shoulder and a fire being lit underneath them. We started to see them now starting to go on a slow run after that game. Could this be the same? I don't know. We will see. You guys let me know what you think about that. Do you see any similarities? Are there any similarities in those seasons? Let me go take a look at a super chat here. Going back, super chat from James. James, I appreciate it. Sorry for being so late here. James comes in with a super chat. He says, yo, my thoughts and prayers go to the Cowboys after that beatdown. Hoping for a speedy recovery so that they can do the exact same thing to Miami. Facts. Absolutely. I need the Cowboys to lick their wounds, you know what I'm saying, and be back on the saddle, ready to go and beat the brakes off the Dolphins because the Bills need it. We need them to. We need the Cowboys. I think every Bills fan right now is going to be a Cowboys fan this weekend against, while we're watching the Cowboys go against the Miami Dolphins. We need them to win for our sake. And the church said, amen. Amen. Moving on. So with these Buffalo Bills now, and looking at kind of where they are, what Sean McDermott has been able to do with the team, it made me want to take a look at some power rankings in the NFL. Okay. And it looks like the Buffalo Bills are moving on up. Moving on up. The Bills are moving on up, baby, in these power rankings. USA Today has the Bills ranking at number 4. Up 4 spots. This is all since the Cowboys win. Okay. NFL.com has got the Bills at 8, up 2 spots after the game. CBS Sports, they have the Bills at 7 in their power rankings. And Pro Football Talk has the Buffalo Bills ranked at number 4, up 2 spots in their rankings. What do you guys think about the power rankings from these outlets right now? Where would you place the Buffalo Bills right now? I know it's kind of hard, right? Because you look at the record and you're like, man, but just the team in general, how good they've been playing, how they're making you feel, what you've seen on tape over the past 4 weeks or so. Where would you rank them? Are they top 10? Are they moving up for you? What do you think? LXB says, yo, they're third. Third. That's high praise. That's high praise. So who are the 2 teams above them? I'm guessing the Niners, but who else would you put above them? Is it an AFC team? Is it the Ravens? What do you think? Anyway, I would probably, haven't given it a whole lot of thought, but I would probably put them in top 5, maybe. I don't know. That's difficult. Let's just go through some teams that I think right now are better than the Bills. Okay, the Niners, number 1, and I don't necessarily. Let me try to remove my Homer glasses. Okay, the Niners are freaking nuts. They're nasty. Okay, I put the Niners up there. Dang, man, who else? Anybody on the NFC? No, I'm not. No, anybody else? No, I'm not really afraid of them. AFC. I mean, we've beaten the Chiefs. I guess we could put the Eagles. I mean, the Bills lost to the Eagles, but they hung in there with them. Let's just, for argument's sake, let's just keep the Eagles up there at 2 or whatever. Third place, maybe the Ravens. 4th. I mean, an argument can be, the Bills could be up there. 4. Who else is higher than them? I know Dolphins fans will be freaking triggered right now if they're hearing me say, yo, the Bills 4th place, the Dolphins behind them. I mean, record aside, we did beat the brakes off the Dolphins, so you know what I'm saying? And they haven't really beaten a team. They haven't beaten a team that's over 500. So until they do that, I don't care what the record says. You're below the Bills. So I put the Bills 4 or 5. I put them, in that range. That's kind of where I'd have them. LXB says, yo, the Eagles are falling apart. Yeah, that's true. That's true. But the Bills hadn't beaten them, though. You know what I'm saying? So I kind of give them the edge. But, I guess you could say the same. You could say the same about any team that the Bills have not beaten. But I still have, some respect for the Eagles like that. Anyway, I was just curious because I was, I hadn't looked at the power rankings for a while because after the Bills started going on this little, awful job here, losing these games and stuff like that. I was really like this. I just didn't feel it, you know. Um, but now that they're starting to kind of get their mojo back, now I'm like, let me take a look and see where they have them. And I was kind of shocked to see that they have them up there in the top 5. Shout out to the Bills, man. Shout out to the Bills. And my guest here in the background says, "Yo, I like it right there at number 5." And so I think I agree with that. All right. But now, before we move on, shout out to everybody, man. We're 45 minutes in the show. Smash that like, hit the subscribe button if you have not already done so. But this is what we're going to do. We're going to go on a quick break. We're going to hear a word from our sponsor. And when we come back at the top of the break, I am going to be joined by my special guest, who is a Los Angeles Chargers fan, who happens to be my brother. And we're going to talk about some Bills-Chargers matchups and kind of where he thinks the Chargers are and what can we expect to see in this game. So don't go anywhere, baby. It's Rated Rev on the Buffalo Fanatics Network, and I'll be right back. Here's a word from our sponsor, Underdog Fantasy.
Underdog Fantasy is the easiest place to play fantasy sports. It's also the fastest growing fantasy app in the industry. In the Pick'em game, you can pick whether your favorite players will have a higher or lower stat total in that week's game for a chance to win big. And as you already know, I'm going Josh Allen higher in yards every single week. So sign up today with promo code Buffalo Fanatics and get your first deposit doubled up to $100. Visit UnderdogFantasy.com or find them in the App Store. And don't forget to register with promo code Buffalo Fanatics to get your first deposit doubled up to $100.
Shout out to Underdog Fantasy, the sponsor of the show tonight. And shout out to you guys right now who have been sticking with your brother in this chat and being willing to move your schedule to accommodate us on Thursday night because the Bills play, obviously, on Saturday night. So that's why we made the switch. But without further ado, all I need is a thumbs up from my man down here. You give me a thumbs up, bro, when you're ready. He's ready. So without further ado, you guys do me this favor, man. Give my guest a warm welcome. Drop some clap emojis in the chat, fire emojis, mic emojis, all that. He is a first-time guest on Rated Rev. He is my brother. I love him. Chargers fan. Here he is, baby. My brother, Tony, a.k.a. Chargers Die Hard. What's going on, bro? How you doing, man?
What's up, Rev? What's up, Bills Mafia?
Man, we chilling, man. Yeah, man. Yo, I see. Hold on a second, man. I see you got the jersey on.
Yes, sir.
Let everybody see what you got on, man. I got to see it. Who you rocking?
It's
all right, rocking number 13. He's rocking number 13, man.
He will not be playing on Saturday night. I don't know if you guys got that news or not. Just to let you guys.
Yeah, we did. I mean, let's just go ahead and jump right into it because I think we kind of heard about some of the guys who may or may not be playing, but right off the top, man, the injury report, man. What is the injury report for the Chargers looking like right now for you guys?
I mean, the big guys for you guys, Bosa came back to practice a little bit, but they've already ruled him out. Keenan's not going to play. The rest of the guys on the injury report's more special teamers. Trey Pipkins was on like a little more like a vet rest thing, but he'll probably suit up and go. But other than that, there's really no big names outside of my guy Herbert. Everyone else on IR, but those are the big names not gonna play.
Man, speaking of Herbert, man, like, bro, like I know you love you some Herbert, man, and I know that when you got news of Herbert going out, man, that was. Tell me, man, like, what were your initial thoughts when that happened? When Herbert went down, he got injured, and you found out that he was done for the year. What were your initial thoughts, man?
It was just so disappointing because I know we look at his stats a lot, right? And if you look at his stats, it's probably his worst year. But if you go on the eye test, you watch the All 22, this was Herbert's best year, in my opinion, he's ever had.
Yeah.
I mean, the way he was reading the field, the decisions he was making, being more aggressive, being more athletic, all those things that we asked him as Chargers fans to do more of, he was doing that. And whether it be injuries or just drops, like I've never seen this many drop balls. It's
Yeah.
everyone's talking about the Chiefs, but I mean, cry me a river. We're looking
Yeah.
at like 8, 9 drops a game, and it was just so disappointing. And you can even see it with the team. As soon as
Mhm.
they came out in the second half, when they got the news that Herbert wasn't playing, it just all fell apart, right? He was the heart and soul, and
Yeah.
it's kind of bittersweet because you got people thinking it was Herbert's fault for us not playing well or not being where they think we should be at, and that injury kind of solidified what he truly meant, not just even to the offense, I mean, even to the defense,
Right.
just where he really was, and that was just really, 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 really hard to swallow out there. So
I mean, yeah, I mean, Herbert, man, is, and you know what, like I'm not a fan of guys getting injured, especially when they they're gone for the season. And I always want to see these greats play, man. Like Justin Herbert, man, he's a phenomenal quarterback, man. And I felt like, and this is me on the outside looking in, and I want to know your opinion about this, but I felt like Justin Herbert, man, and this talent, dude. I felt like he was getting wasted out there, not necessarily in
100%.
LA, but more so just the situation, um, you know, out there in LA, specifically with Brandon Staley, man. With Staley, man, over the years, I was like, it felt like they were never just maximizing the talent that they had on this roster, from Herbert to Keenan Allen to Mike Williams, and who it seemed like I was talking to you. It seemed like I was talking to you all the time. Like, dude, y'all go through. I don't know how y'all are constantly injured every single year. Like, y'all need to fire your strength and conditioning staff or something, man, because it's like something every single year, dude. But like, man, like it's crazy. But Justin Herbert, dude, he's one of those guys, man. I mean, he's I think he's right there on the precipice of being one of the great quarterbacks in the National Football League, the great young quarterbacks in the National Football League. What where do you see how do you see him shaking out right now? Obviously he's done for the year, but like, what is your do you have any hope for the Chargers going forward? I mean, obviously they made a big decision, a big move, to get rid of their head coach and GM Tom Telesco. After that, I mean, I don't want to. I'm sure he's probably still a little sensitive,
I didn't watch a
but
snap of it, so it's okay. We can talk about it. I didn't put myself
I mean,
through that. There's no need.
try. Hey, man, like Bills fan, we've been there. We've been there, man. We've been there. So I ain't gonna rag on you about that, man. But I just want to talk about just the move that was made. Do you think it was Do you think it was made on time, or do you think it was like, yo, hey, man, y'all are a year late when it
100% it
came to
was a year
moving on
too
from
late.
Staley?
100% it was a year too late. And then not just because of like what happened in Jacksonville. There were a lot of games even during that run that I was like, there was the first time I really legitimately was like, Brandon Staley has to go. Is I
Mhm.
don't know if you guys remember it. The game we won against Cleveland. It was like one of the very few times that year that our defense actually played well. 4th and 2, we go for it, throw a slant to Mike Williams, we don't get it, and we just got bailed out by a kicker who missed a field goal. Like we were on our 40,
Yeah.
45. It
Mhm.
was ridiculous. And after that Jacksonville game, I was like, there's no way we bring him back. There's just too many things has happened for us to bring him back. I will say this about Brandon Staley. He did
Yeah.
kind of change the way a lot of NFL coaches look at 4th down and really lean into their analytics, which I was a big fan of that for the
Yeah.
most
Yeah.
part. It's
I
just a little
agree.
more situation. Like he gets killed about that, while the rest of the league is kind of just went with that and really paid off with that aggressiveness. But it was
Mhm.
just weird game time decisions. I mean, even week 18, we have nothing to play for last year. And Mike Williams, our X factor, like he's
Yeah.
really what
Yeah.
what makes it kind of like your Gabe Davis a little bit. People don't really talk about it, but what he really does with those one-on-one opportunities that he takes advantage of, Mike Williams does the same thing
Gabe
for us.
Davis is not him. Gabe Davis is not him. I just want to say he is not on
I'm
Mike.
just,
He's not Mike Williams.
I that's what we need him to be like. Mike Williams was that guy, 50-50. Herbert doesn't have anywhere to go with the
Yes.
ball. He's throwing to Mike Williams. And you
Yeah.
play him in a game that doesn't matter, it's not going to affect anything, breaks his back. And as soon as Mike Williams
Mm.
was out, I knew we were losing that game against Jacksonville.
Yeah.
Um, so and the options we had Sean Payton available. To thinking about him, what he
Yeah.
could have did with
Yeah.
this team is just sick. It's sick. It really
Y'all
is.
y'all even had a chance to really get Brian Daboll too before he went to
Dayball,
New
yeah,
York.
we chose
Yeah.
Dayball over Staley. It was that same hiring term. I was wanting Dayball because I saw what you guys did in Buffalo, and I was really hoping we got Dayball. And he was, he went to school with Tom Telesco. It was
Yeah.
crazy, but
What the heck was that
yes,
about?
I have no clue, man. Then Tom Telesco, he had to go too. This roster, I mean, it's top heavy, and he had to be responsible. I mean, this is his what, fifth head coach? It can't always be the head coach. I mean, so
Right.
he's made some
Yeah, I
really
agree.
good picks, but he's had some. We go this year, going Quentin
Yeah.
Johnson over Zay Flowers. I mean,
No.
so
So
it
Zay
had to
was
be
your guy?
Quentin.
Was Zay your guy?
Zay was the guy I wanted, but I knew
Yeah.
we would never draft him because Telesco is big on measurables. If you're not over 6'2", he's not drafting you anywhere
That's
near
stupid.
the first 2 rounds. It's not happening. So
Bro, Quentin Johnson, I mean, he can't catch, bro. Like, what's up with that?
I don't get it. I mean, you see it on his tape. I watched the TCU tape. I saw it. I
Yeah.
wasn't a big fan of him. I mean, when he gets that ball in his hands, he can do stuff with it. But I mean, your receiver,
He's
your
got to
number
catch
one
it
job is
first.
catching the football. The number one catching the football.
Yeah.
So I mean, it was just time for them to clean house. But unfortunately, I feel like until we're in your guys' situation, where I mean, I know Ralph Wilson did a lot for the organization, just founding it, and until Dean Spanos goes, I really don't see it changing.
Oh, so you
I
think
mean,
it's an ownership problem?
I mean, it has to be. I mean, we went
Yeah.
through. You go to the Marty Schottenheimer. The reason I am a Chargers fan is that Marty Ball era. North Turner, great coach, great track record. We've
Yeah.
had really great teams, but it just has to be some. That's the only thing I can speak to. I mean,
Right.
that's the only thing I can think of. So we gotta get some new ownership in here, new direction, and we'll
But that's not
see.
happening, though, right?
That's
not
I mean,
happening.
let's see. Let's see.
I mean, are they talking about it? I mean, what's
I'm,
the pulse of Chargers fans? Are they talking about getting rid of
I mean, we
the
would
owner?
hope Dean Stanos. I mean, I was getting excited 2 years ago. His sister, I mean, was suing him to make him sell the team, but that's not gonna happen. That's wishful
That ain't
thinking
gonna
for
work.
me. Jeff
Yeah.
Bezos, if you watch him, please run the bag. Please buy my team. Please. So I mean, so even when they're floating names like
Buy the team,
Harbaugh,
Bezos. Yeah.
I mean, I like Ben Johnson,
Yeah,
Bieniemy.
let's talk about it. Let's talk about coaches. Yeah, that's what I want to know. Like, so who are your top? Let's give me your top 3 head coaching candidates for the Chargers that you think is going to be the one to come in there and really turn it around.
I really think for my first choice would be Ben Johnson. He's asking for 15 mil a year, which is it's not my money, but Dean, go ahead and spend that bag.
Right.
Number 2, it's close between Harbaugh and Bieniemy, but I would probably lean towards Harbaugh just because I've seen him do it. Just because I've seen him do it and the way he wants to build a football, tough, physical, run the football, we'll throw, we'll take deep shots, but in the trenches, that's where he's big.
Yeah.
I mean, he's basically scouted every college football player for the past 4 years. So he knows where all the gyms are at. I wouldn't mind that.
Do you feel like Harbaugh do you feel like he's shifty? You know what I'm saying, like you can't really trust him?
I mean, if they're gonna give him what he wants, if you hire Harbaugh, you know you have to give him control of everything, basically. So
So
if he gets in a situation like that, control the roster. He's gonna want to be basically Bill Belichick type. It's gonna be something like that.
Man.
He'll have a GM, but he got the last call. So if you're willing to do that, that would be the guy. And then obviously Bieniemy at 3. I think he's a great offensive mind. If you really don't look at Washington's record. That offense is going, and there's really not. I mean, Sam Howell we're talking about here.
Right.
I know they got Scary Terry, but Curtis Samuel can't stay healthy. There's not a lot of weapons on Washington. And then I know you guys don't want to hear it. My 4th choice, low key, if we could take a shot, I like Joe Brady. I've liked Joe Brady since he was at LSU.
Look, man, you better stay away from Joe Brady. Y'all better stay away from him, man.
I'm just saying, if we're gonna roll the dice on a guy, I like your guy Joe Brady. I've been watching him from afar. I saw what he did to our OU team in that college football playoff. I know.
I know too. I saw it.
Oh.
Look, if y'all interview Joe, I'm gonna be so pissed. I'm gonna be so pissed because that's gonna be very, very, very tempting for Joe. Because it's like, because I mean, you look at like what is it gonna take to move Joe out of Buffalo? I mean, he's sitting here coaching probably one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL, right? With Josh Allen, one of the best.
Oh yeah.
What is it going to take? You have to move him to a place that has that guy, that quarterback. And man, like him in LA, first of all, with Justin Herbert, Keenan Allen. Now, granted, Keenan is getting kind of older, but dude, like that would scare me. If at the end of the season we get wind of, the Chargers are requesting to interview Joe Brady for the head coaching job, I am going to throw up.
Yeah, everything I'm reading right now, I think they're trying to make a big splash. I think Dean's gonna throw the bag at Harbaugh. I really hope that they don't really get caught up in all that and really give Ben Johnson and Bieniemy and Brady a real deal interview and give them a chance because I I can't see the Chiefs winning the AFC West every. I'm sick of it.
Yeah.
Like, I'm tired of it. So we have to
I'm
do
tired of them too,
something to
man.
really change the organization and really move it forward. So those are kind of things I'm looking for. I mean, we're getting ready to get into New Orleans Saints salary cap situation. There's going to be some pieces that
Yeah.
get moved in the offseason. I don't know if Joey Bosa is going to come back next year. Eckler's going to walk. There's going to be decisions with Mike Williams and Keenan Allen. They're both making $20 million a year. There's going to be some tough choices coming out here. So I think
These
the
guys can't stay
GMs,
healthy, man.
yeah, and I've never understood that. I mean, the year we were actually relatively healthy. I mean, we do good things. Like last year, we stayed relatively healthy. Um, it was just decimated this year, and it just really
Mm-hmm.
showed its ugly head, and really the lack of depth that we had
Yeah.
really showed. And it's getting really bad without Herbert out there. So I haven't done enough diving into the GMs just yet to see really who we should look at.
Can
The guy
I
what
throw a
they're
name out there for you?
Oh,
Let
go
me throw a
ahead.
name
Let me
out there
put
for you. Tell me
pull out the
what you think.
notepad. Let me see the
You ready?
notepad. Go ahead.
Yeah, I don't know if you're gonna like it, but you let me. Matter of fact, I'm gonna type it here and put it in the banner, and you tell me what you think about it.
I mean, Bill.
Bill Belichick.
Bill.
Would you guys be opposed to Bill Belichick? Because we know he's out of here at the end of the year. He's not going to be in New England. We've already been hearing about that. So Bill Belichick, they've already got the. I've seen people transposing him in LA already as soon as word come out. Like, could you guys handle Bill Belichick in LA? And would you
Here's
be
my
willing to?
thing with Bill.
Yeah.
Here's the thing with Bill. Bill gonna cost a pick. It's probably gonna cost what Denver had to give up for Sean Payton, which for a changing culture, I'm fine with that. The thing that I don't think gets talked about enough with Bill Belichick and really what turned it around, not so much Brady, but I think his nepotism has really been brought to light of what's really going on. We got too many sons and nephews and making major decisions with the organization. I would love it for the defense. I mean, Bill's always got top 5 defense. It doesn't matter who's out there. A bunch of UDFAs out there. He's gonna do something with you schematically on defense. I just don't know about the offensive side of the ball.
Yeah.
I know we have Herbert. Are you gonna bring McDaniels in here? Am I gonna have to watch that ticky-tack offense and
you think you bring Bill O'Brien with him? Or you think Bill O'Brien will stay and probably be the head coach of New England?
I think they're gonna go with Mayo, bro. I think they're gonna do it.
Oh, yeah.
So I think they're gonna bring Mayo. I don't know about Billy O.
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen him have successful offenses in the past, and Deshaun Watson and those Houston teams, they always put up points. I haven't. How much of it is the team that he has right now?
Y'all probably want that flashy guy though, man. I agree with you, man. I think
that's what
I think a guy like Harbaugh would make sense. He's got the plug in college.
I wouldn't hate it. I really wouldn't hate it. I mean, you saw what Pete Carroll was able to do in Seattle, having the leg up, just knowing every single person that's really in here. But
because you guys are gonna have to turn over your roster, man.
Oh, yeah, it's gonna happen regardless. It doesn't matter who. That's the thing where I'm okay with that, because no matter who the head coach is, there's gonna be some guys that we love to death that we're gonna see wearing a different uniform next year. It's gonna hurt, but there's just no other way around it. We we pushed our chips all in this year, and it just didn't go our way, man. So it's
Yeah.
tough.
And I hate that for you guys, man. I mean, you know, I know you. I mean, you as a fan, you know, my brother, man. I really do hate that for you. Not too much, but you know, just a little bit. And,
Yeah,
and
of course.
but I mean, when you guys are not playing us, because I mean, there was a time. What was it? A couple years ago, or was it? When was that? But this was before Herbert, though. But this was still with old Philip.
You talking about
No,
Josh
no, no,
Allen's
no,
rookie
no, no,
year?
no, 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 no. I'm tripping. I'm tripping. There was it. What year was that, man? When you guys when you guys went to playoffs, and I was like, man, I hope the Bills don't have to play the Chargers.
Oh, yeah. That was the year we lost to the Raiders. I was hope that team, if we would have snuck in, we would have did something. Yeah, that was
Yeah.
2 years ago. That was the Raiders
Hmm.
week 18 loss. Yeah, I was. Whew, thank you for opening that
Yeah.
one up again.
I
Appreciate it.
know.
Yeah, yeah,
My bad, bro.
yeah.
My bad. I mean,
It's
it's like 13 seconds with us, man. I mean, golly, we hit
it's
that.
okay, man. I mean, there's so many. You're just used to it at this point. I mean, it's just.
Uh-huh. I said we've turned a new leaf. We've turned a new leaf.
I'm
All that's in the
I'm so,
past. And the Bills are what's before us are the beat down Chargers right now. Like, you
mhm.
guys are decimated by injury. You guys have a brand new, I mean, interim head coach, no GM. I mean, what can we expect Saturday night in LA in this game? First of all, let me ask you this question. Do you think the Chargers have anything to play for, or are they just like, man, you know what, season's done, it's a wrap, whatever. We just here so we don't get fined.
Uh,
We-
I I think GIF will have the guys play because I truly believe they did quit on Staley,
Mm,
especially in that second half of the Broncos game. You could really see it in the Raiders game. So I think they'll come out energized. I mean, but I mean, it's Easton Stick, right? I was
yeah.
hoping the world never had to see how truly bad our backup quarterback situation has been for this many years, but it's terrible. You guys are gonna run the ball whenever you want. Well, Khalil being there, I mean, we still got so the running game to hold up a little bit, but I mean, the passing game, it's you guys are gonna be able to do whatever you guys want to. It's gonna be I'll say respectably like a 17-point game. That front four, you guys got, I mean, they're gonna be living in the backfield. Outside of Rashawn
Mm,
Slater, I mean, the rest of the offensive linemen haven't been anywhere near up to snuff. I think Corey Lindsey being out, I mean, has really showed its ugly head too.
mm,
Um,
yeah.
and then people don't talk about that enough. So you guys are gonna be getting after it. It's gonna be ugly, especially with where you guys rolling right now. I mean, in my opinion,
Mm.
the
Gonna
team
be
that you
ugly, you
guys
think
are
that?
fielding, yeah, it's gonna get ugly. The team that you guys are fielding right now, I think is better than the 13-second Bills. I think you guys, what I've seen,
Mm,
just because of the
yeah.
way you guys can run the
Say
ball and are
something.
committed to run the ball, this is the
Oh,
best
bro.
Bills team that I've seen as an outsider. Like,
Bro, don't
this
hype
is
me
the
up,
best
man.
Bills. This is I'm not trying to hype you up, man, because there is that team in the DMV, right? There's those
Yeah.
that them purple boys, they not playing no games.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, but this is the best Bills team that I've seen my whole life that you guys have fielded. So I
This
mean,
team, man. Yeah, I agree with you on that. I think with the commitment to run the ball, has really opened this team up and made them versatile, made them really just being able to morph and do whatever it is that they want to do on a week to week basis. Um, and you said in this game that you feel like it's going to get ugly. Like, I
it's
mean,
gonna get
so do you think that GIF is a GIF or GIF? How do you pronounce his name?
it's GIF. It's GIF.
GIF. Okay, so do you think these boys are really going to be amped up for this game? Like, do you think that they're going to be ready to play and make it competitive, or do you see it like, man, these Bills are about to run? I mean, about to blow the brakes off.
Like I said, the first quarter, I mean, they're gonna be hyped up because I mean, I think like the players like GIF. He's a really really respected guy, like players
Yeah.
coach type of guy. Um, but at the end of the day, we just don't have the horses to keep up. I think the first quarter we'll throw some punches, do some trick plays, bring in
Yeah.
reverse passes, stuff like that, just to kind of keep it respectable. But It just kind of pull away there at the end. So I'm thinking that 15.5, I don't 13.5. I mean, that
Mhm.
doesn't sound bad at all. That for the over.
Yeah, you think
I
so?
truly, yeah, that I don't see that being an issue this week. I mean, outside, I mean, you get some crazy Chiefs refs going on stuff. Outside of that, I
Oh,
mean, that 13 and a
dude.
half sounds pretty soft this week.
Oh, soft. Dang, man. Like, there's a part of me that feels like this
It could
could
be a
be a
trap
trap
game.
game for the Bills. It could be a trap game. I don't think it will be because I know where the Bills are right now. The Bills are, man, they're in playoff mode. Like
Mhm.
they've dug themselves in a hole and they know where they are and they know what they have to do to get out and to win and to get in the playoffs. So they're locked in. And then guys have said it. I mean, Josh has said it. Other guys have said it. Like it's win or go home from here on out. That's how they're approaching every week. They're in the playoffs right now, and so I don't think that they're gonna like sleep on the Chargers and like not prepare enough and they fall into a trap kind of like they did in London against the Jags. I think they'll be prepared, but there's always that little slight possibility because, and this is where I hate kind of playing a team that's almost like fresh off of a firing of a coach or something like that. Because normally when the interim comes in that following week, they're jacked up, they're fired up. They're on fire. They're playing for pride and they're playing for their coach or whatever. And they come out and they almost overperform. They over. And so I'm like, there's a slight opportunity or the slight possibility for that happening. And if that happens and the Bills lose, well, their season is done. So I don't. So do you see that happening at all? Do you foresee that this team can really just say,
I
hey,
don't
you know what? I don't care
foresee.
this, but you don't foresee
I
that at
don't
all.
foresee. I don't foresee you guys
Okay,
having winning this game. It's Easton Stick, brother. It's Easton
Easton
Stick.
Stick. Yeah.
You guys go out, get your Christmas shopping done on Saturday. It's okay. This might be the week if the wife on you about watching football. This might be the game to miss. Okay, I'm just gonna put that out there. I don't see it
Is it like
happening.
that?
I mean, if we
Is
win this game, the script might be real. Okay, I'll put it to you like that. I'll put it to you like that. If
yeah.
we win this game, the script might be real.
Heck yeah, it is real. Heck yeah, it is. So is there anybody? All right, let's just talk about matchups here real quick. Like, is there anybody from a matchup perspective, as a Chargers fan, that you think that man, um, the Bills can exploit this on our team?
Where do you want to start? You want to start on offense? You want to start on defense? Which one do you
You
want to go?
start wherever you feel
Okay,
comfortable.
Von Miller on Trey Pipkins is just gonna have a field day. He's gonna probably get about two sacks right there. It's not even gonna be
Uh-huh.
fair. Um, on the edge with Slater, he's gonna be solid right there. The way we haven't been able
Yeah.
to pick up a stunt or a game all year, and Sean McDermott's pretty good at watching the film, so I see those. Ed Oliver, like he's gonna have a big pressure day. I don't know if he's gonna get it over a sack, but I can see him getting a sack, maybe two, just because of
Yeah.
how we just cannot pick up a stunt. We're not gonna be able to run the ball. We haven't done it since Miami game week one. Um, trying to think, who's your little guy, your little slot guy? I think he's gonna have a
Khalil
big game.
Shakir.
Yeah,
Khalil
Shakir. I think
Shakir. Yeah.
Shakir, Kincaid's gonna have a
Oh, I
field
love
day
Kincaid.
on Murray and Kendricks, who have been great in the run. I don't want to just
Yeah.
completely poo-poo them,
Uh-huh.
but are a complete liability in the passing game. So look for
Yeah.
Kincaid. If you got Kincaid on the bench, you might want to start him this week. He's got some
Bro, I done
favorable
already lost.
matchups.
I mean, I done already lost my fantasy, my playoff game, bro.
The
So now
chat
it's like
might still be in the
consolation.
playoffs. The chats might be in the
Who?
playoffs. You guys in your chat,
Man.
man. That
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Kincaid,
Y'all in the chat. Yeah,
Kincaid's
I'm
a
sorry.
must start.
I'm being selfish. My bad. I'm like, man, forget it.
Kincaid in the chat. If you guys, this
Must
is a
start.
big Kincaid must start. Have to
All
start
right.
him. I like him, right? The middle of the field is going to be really. The seams are going to be just there to be had.
Okay.
And then Diggs. I think this is the week Diggs is going to pop back out. I
Pop
mean,
back. Yep.
he's going to pop back out here. Michael Davis or Asante Samuel. I don't really think they're going to be able to do too much with him.
Mm.
So it's.
Do you think? I mean, what do you think James Cook is? What do you think? What kind of a threat does James Cook pose to you guys?
Well, I mean, James Cook's posed a lot of threats, especially outside the backfield. I think this week he'll be more of a receiving threat than he will maybe a running attack. Just because we've been playing a lot better against the run, and just because teams have seen how easy it is to pass against us, he's going to be a
Mm-hmm.
matchup nightmare for Kendricks or Murray outside the backfield too. So I mean, he's gonna have a pretty explosive. And we struggle tackling people all year, so there's gonna be a lot of broken tackles. So those
Mm.
yards after the catch, I mean, he's gonna be gashing out there. So, um,
Hey, man. So it's gonna be. It's gonna
I
be
mean,
you
as
think
a
it's gonna be?
Chargers fan, it hurts me. I'm just being real with you guys. I just want you to be. I'm being real with you, man. I would
Oh
love to
man.
say I was looking forward to when the schedule dropped. I was like, yes, Bills,
Yeah. With
Chargers,
Herbert.
Saturday night, Peacock.
Ah,
I'm in.
yeah.
I'm
Make sure
in.
y'all
But
get the Peacock app. Make sure y'all go ahead and get that downloaded. Do that real quick. Don't be tripping. Don't be looking for the game on NFL Network or something. It's on Peacock.
I got the Peacock
Dude,
for no reason. That's
you got
crazy.
it
For no reason.
bro. All right, so let me see here, bro. Like, what? Tell me, talk to me about Easton Stick. I have no idea who the guy is. Never heard of him before in my life. I'll be honest with you. Is there anything that you can tell us about Easton Stick that maybe like, because there's really not a whole, there's nothing on them. There's no tape really on them. Like, we don't know what to prepare for. Is there anything that we're like that we should be
He's fast. He's
concerned
really
about?
mobile. He's
Oh, so
fast
he's a
if he
mobile
can
guy.
break it.
Okay.
He's a mobile guy. He's extremely fast. Can't remember what he ran. He came out of South Dakota State, so he was like one of the first quarterbacks, and then Carson Wentz. So the guy's getting drafted out of there. He's pretty mobile. When he can set his feet and throw in rhythm, it can be on time and on target. Not a big arm, so it's really more of an intermediate game. But I just
Yeah.
don't think he's seen enough football. So I mean, McDermott's going to be able to confuse him, disguise and looks,
Right.
coverage, and stuff like that. But he is pretty mobile. If he can get a lane, he can get going. But that's basically it on Stick.
Okay. Dang, man. Like, bro, like you're not instilling any, like, I kind of want to see a game, but like you're just like, dude, it's gonna be ugly.
I wish it
It's gonna be
was.
ugly.
I wish it
Yeah.
was. I really do, man. But I'm just being honest about what
So
I see
Keenan
on
Allen
tape.
playing, like, is there a reason for Keenan to be playing?
It's not. I mean, he's got the heel. I mean, we don't really have any. Our playoff chances are over with. So he sat last
Yeah.
week too. I think if we were still in playoff contention, he'd be playing with a couple other players. But I think Bosa would go out there and give it a go if we were in contention. But if
Mm-hmm.
we're in our spot, so we're just gonna go ahead and hold him, rest up, and get ready for next year. I think he's
Bro,
kind of where
speaking
he's
of
at.
Bosa, man, like I wanted to pivot to the defensive end. Bro, how in the world is Khalil Mack doing it
Woo!
right now, bro? Was it 15 and a half
Woo!
sacks?
15.5. I will now, to be
No,
fair, 6 of them were against in one game against the Raiders.
that's still good enough. That's
That
still good.
at 11.5. So I mean, Khalil Mack's had a resurgence career, and I think what's not really being talked about enough is great as he's been in the pass rush, setting the edge has really changed kind of how our run game.
Mm-hmm. Hey, bro, you cutting out. Did we lose him? Oh man, I hope we didn't lose my brother. Looks like he went out. Tell you what, if you can hear me on your end, I'm gonna go ahead and pull you out, and then I'm gonna remove you from the stream, and then you try to come. Oh, there you are. You back in. Can you hear me? Are you good, bro?
Oh, can you hear me?
Yeah.
I think
There
we
you
lost you
go.
real quick.
There you go. All right.
Okay,
All right.
all right.
All right. So you're back. It looks like you kind of spotty a little bit, but it's all good. As long as I can hear you, I think we're fine. So you're talking about Khalil Mack and he's having a resurgent career, and how he's doing well in the run game and setting the edge. Talk about Khalil Mack.
Yeah, I mean, he's really been at another All-Pro season, man. He's just not gonna get the votes, just kind of how the way the season's going. But I mean, I can't complain. I mean, this is the best I've seen him probably since
32.
the Bears days. Yeah, 32. I mean, it's a contract year for him, so I could. He's been balling
Ooh.
out, man.
Yeah.
It's contract year. I mean, someone's gonna give him another contract, whether it be us or another team. He's gonna get another double dip in free agency. I
Mm.
can't say enough good things about him, man. That he's just amazing.
Does
Then you
he?
got Thule on the other side. Thule, Tuli, I just really wish Joey Bosa was able to play so he could really not have to be that guy. Because when he was in that edge 3 situation and coming in those NASCAR packages, he really
Yeah.
got to shine. I think if he gets next year, I think he's going to take a huge jump, but he might be able to make some noise this week. That might be another guy you guys kind of looking
Yeah.
at, Tuli.
Dude, but like Khalil Mack and Bosa, you said Bosa's playing, right?
No, Bosa will not be playing.
Is Bosa
He
playing?
came back to practice.
Oh, he's
No,
not playing.
he is
Okay.
not. He's not playing.
Okay.
He's sitting down.
Dude, Bosa, man.
He's
Oh
not
my
sitting
gosh.
down.
All right, but Khalil Mack still though, like, so is he lined up on the left side of the defense or the right side?
Yeah,
I'm just
usually
trying to
he'll
see
go
who's
up
going to be
against
matched
your
up
left
against, like
tackle.
Deion Dawkins.
He'll go over. Yeah,
All right,
he'll
Deion
go against your
Dawkins.
left
Okay.
tackle. For the most part. Now, sometimes if we get in the 3rd and long, what we'll do is we'll put Tuli and him on the same side. That way they can probably run a little game if they want to, twist,
Little game.
stunt, like
Yeah.
stuff like that. Kind of
Yeah.
confuse people, but I mean, power, speed, he's had it
Okay.
all this year. So
Yeah. Well, I was going to say, like, if he's lined up on the right tackle, Spencer Brown, like that would be our weak link on the offensive line. I mean, those Spencer Brown, I mean, he's been holding his own at times, but he's still, I mean, if you're talking about the offensive line weakness, it would be Spencer Brown, and he's kind of prone to, especially like speed guys. I mean, because he's 6'8", about 320. He still doesn't have the leverage right. You know what I'm saying? But Deion Dawkins, that's going to be a good matchup to see Khalil against Deion. Deion's been having a great year, man. He's been having a great year. That would be my concern is if you guys are, if our offensive line that came off of a fantastic game against the Cowboys gets a little leaky against the Chargers, and your pass rush, slow some things down for us.
yeah, I mean, if your right tackle has some issues with some speed, I mean, Tuli, he's kind of that guy. He has really great bend, I think. So that might be something to watch out. He's a smaller edge as well, so that dip that might be something to watch out for you guys as well.
Yeah,
He has issues
I
with
mean,
speed, guys.
they're saying in the chat that Spencer's been solid. They said we handled Parsons, but I would say this though, we didn't really handle Parsons. We ran the ball a lot. I mean, so
Yeah.
the Joe Brady, he called a great game where Josh Allen, I mean, he wasn't throwing the rock. You know what I'm saying? Like Josh had under 100 yards passing, less than 20 yards. I mean, less than 20 attempts. You know what I'm saying? So they didn't really throw the ball. They were running the rock. Which was my concern. I was like, yo, if they have Josh sitting back in the pocket, man, freaking Parsons is gonna eat him up. And so that would be my concern going forward. Like Khalil Mack or like you said, Tuli is wondering how we decide to play against those guys. But man, bro, like, I mean, I'm looking forward to the game nevertheless. Because for the Bills, they need to win, dude. Like they have to keep winning to get into the playoffs, man. They have to do it. And they have to win out. Like there's basically, I mean, like that's how much of a hole they've dug themselves into, to where they have to win out. People thought like, hey, they may could lose or stand to lose against the Cowboys, but that'd be about it, just because they're an NFC team. But they basically almost have to win out in order to secure themselves a spot. And then, just from your outside perspective, when you look at who the Bills have to play, they got to play the Chargers Saturday. After that, then they got the Patriots in Buffalo, and then Week 18 against the Dolphins in Miami. Do you see, as an outsider, the Bills being able to run the table in order to get in the playoffs?
I definitely can see you guys doing it for sure. Because I mean, like you said, I think you guys will handle us pretty well. New England doesn't have enough offense to keep up with you guys. Although that's going to be a little nasty. I can see it being like a 13-6 game, something like that. It can be ugly just because of the way how Bill schemes
it better not, bro. I'd be so pissed. It better. We gave up 29 points to those suckers, man.
I hope
it better not be a low scoring game like that.
I hope not. The game you guys play them in Miami, you said?
Play in Miami, Week 18.
Man, going to South Beach.
That game might be for the division, though. It might be for the division. Just because, I mean, the Dolphins, like, yeah, I'd agree. I mean, we've already beaten them, but the Dolphins haven't beaten anybody with above 500. And so, but they've got a tall task ahead of them this weekend against the Cowboys, but their remaining schedule, they have to play the Ravens. So they got the Cowboys. Hold on, where are they at, man? Where is it? Hold on. They got the Cowboys this week, and then I think it's the Ravens, and then they close out the year against us. So there's a chance that they could. I mean, there's a chance that they could lose. They could lose the next 2 games.
Yeah, they definitely match up with the Cowboys a lot better than the Ravens, from what I've seen. I still think the Cowboys should beat them, but yeah, that Ravens game, I don't see them winning. They match up really well, just what the Ravens can do, just defensively in the secondary, especially with Kyle Hamilton. That guy is a freak.
Oh man,
That dude is the freak. He's probably it might be a little too soon to call him the best safety in the NFL, but the way they use those guys out there, their front four, mean, nasty, get after the pass rusher. I mean, they match up really well against Miami. So if you guys just take care of your business, I definitely see that Week 18 game going down for the division. Hopefully you guys pull it out, man. I want to see a home playoff game in Buffalo this year, man. And I think if it comes down to that, with that pressure with Tua, I think you guys are just I think you guys just want it more. There's too much investing in you guys. I just think you guys want it too bad to miss the playoffs this year. That's why I don't really fall into this like trap game with us or New England. I think you guys know what's on the line. You guys been through the ups, the downs, and knowing that this is your year, and we don't have a lot of time with this core with Stephon, and I really do. You gave him a rose, and he definitely deserved it. James Cook coming on strong. The play calling, I just think you guys want it bad, man. So
the Bills are hungry, dude. They're great. They're so hungry.
If you guys sneak in, nobody in the AFC want to see you guys.
Say it again, bro. Say it again, man. Let everybody know. Say it. Hold on, my bad, bro. Yeah, nobody
wants to see Buffalo coming into their stadium this playoff season. Even the Ravens, who I do have as the best team in the AFC right now, currently.
Yeah, right. Ravens are tough, man.
You guys can beat them. You guys have all the pieces.
I mean, even without Mark Andrews, though.
Even without Mark Andrews, it doesn't matter. I mean, the way that they can just. It doesn't matter. Kind of like how you guys have been playing right now. Whether they got to run the ball 50 times or they got to air it out, it doesn't matter. They're
losing their running backs. The running backs are dropping like flies in Baltimore.
As always in Baltimore, for some reason, that's the one position they can't keep healthy. I don't know why. I think that's you guys, man. I think you guys, man. If you guys get in that dance, man, anything can happen. You guys can go get that Lombardi. I mean,
bro, I think nobody. Bro, I want it. I want it so bad, bro. I want it for Dad too, man.
I want it for you guys too. Like I said, once the Chargers get out, man, I root for the Bills. I hope y'all win the Super Bowl. Once we're out of it completely, I was just as happy when Andy Dalton went in there and got y'all in the playoffs. I heard just like y'all heard with the 13 seconds. So I hope you guys get that Lombardi this year, man. I really do. I really do.
Oh, that would be you talk about a script. You talk about a script, dude. That would be a script.
I think
the way they've been facing this adversity, man, and having to dig out of this hole. Yeah, that would be crazy. That would be crazy, bro. Before you head out, man, like I got one more thing I want to do for you, and I want to know if you game. All right, so I got a segment on my show. It's called On My Mama. Okay, so basically this segment is in the chat. They love it. So the chat, you already know what's going on. I want you to drop your On My Mama take too. So basically, what this is it's like a hot take that you put on your mama. So you be like, yo, On My Mama. Boom, this is going to happen. You know, pertaining to the game coming up Saturday.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So,
I got you.
And I mean, just go out there. You know what I'm saying? Because the crazier, the better. All right. So I'm going to go ahead. Hold on. So let me go ahead and drop my theme to get the chat fired up and ready to go. And then we'll come back with your On My Mama take.
On my mama. On my mama. I put that on my mom.
Yo, it is time. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Bills Mafia, Buffalo Fanatics, it is time for On My Mama. And I want to read your On My Mama take. So go ahead and drop that in the chat right now. And I'm going to hear from my bro. I got to hear from my bro. Chargers die hard. Here's on my mama take, bro. You ready?
Yes, sir. We're ready.
All right. All you, bro. You got it. You got the camera. You're looking good, like baby Steph. It's all you, baby.
All
And
right,
you gotta
on my mama.
gotta say, on my mama. Boom. You
On
ready?
my mama. James Cook will have over 200 yards purpose and 2 touchdowns. That's my hot take.
Oh my gosh. Over 200 yards all-purpose game. So that's gonna be like back to back. Back to back. Because he did that last week against the Cowboys. I think he did it. I'm not, yeah, he did. He did. He had a $179 on the ground. And I think he had about 45 or some 50 something yards, in the air, something around there. Man, boy, wouldn't that be something? James Cook, 200 all-purpose yards and a touchdown on my mama. I love it. I love it. Oh, two touchdowns.
Two touchdowns.
2 touchdowns. 2 touchdowns on my mama. All right. Let me see if anybody else has it. All right. So Bill's Witch comes in. He says, "Yo, Gabe has 2 touchdowns on my mama." And if you know about Gabe, that's a good one because Gabe has been missing MIA on the milk cart, like Rico says, for weeks, man. Like this, like bro, you were talking about wide receiver 2s and comparing like Mike Williams. Gabe ain't that guy. He has been completely missing. He goes spats without a catch, without a target. Like, I don't know, bro. It's like ever since that game against the Chiefs in the playoffs, man, maybe people like inflated him too much and they just expected him to duplicate that. But bro, he is so up and down. But the funny thing is, like at the end of the year, you look at the stats and he'll have some pretty good numbers. This year's not that good. Like he's been bad, and it's a contract year for him. So I'm like, yo, it's time for us to move on from Gabe.
This might be
it might be a get right. Yeah, and that's just like Gabe because he's boom or bust. Like if you have him on fantasy, I feel sorry for you. And I'm talking to myself because I got desperate. Some of my wide receivers were going out, man. I had freaking Tank Dell. He went out. I had to pick up a receiver. I'm like, oh man, I gotta get this guy. I couldn't find anybody. I had to get Gabe, and I was forced to have to start him. And of course, 0 receptions, 0 targets, 0 points. Pissed me off, man. Just what I knew. I knew it. It was so mad. I was so mad, dude. Augustine comes in and says, "Yo, on my mama, the Bills will take the charge out of the Chargers." All right, Augustine, but I need specifics, bro. Like, what does that mean? Give me some numbers. Give me some give me something crazy. All right. You seen the look in my brother's face. He just kind of like, man,
the life has already been taken out. That's already happened. That was last week.
All right, here we go. Largemouth Hunter says, "Yo, on my mama digs 150 yards."
I can see it.
Oh man,
definitely possible,
bro.
Definitely possible.
I need Diggs. I need Diggs to have one of them games, man. One of them I'm him games.
I know. I'm starting him in the playoffs. I need.
You starting him?
I'm starting him.
I fooled around, man, and got too cute in my draft. And I think I was drafting 8, and I wanted to in my head. I wanted to double up. I wanted to get Diggs and then in that snake draft coming back around and get Josh, but I was being too smart. And so I was like, nah, I'm gonna pass. And I'm gonna do running backs because in our league, running backs are our king. And I fooled around and then drafted 2 running backs. People got Diggs right ahead of me and Josh right ahead of me on the way back. I was so mad. But anyway, it is what it is, baby. It is what it is. Tony, look, bro. Hey, I appreciate you, man, for hopping on the show, man. I really do. I've got some mama takes. I'm gonna keep on reading. But bro, shout out to you, man. Hey, and hopefully this game is a little bit more competitive for your sake. So at least you can kind of get in it, a little bit, but then get your heart taken right
out per usual. Well, I appreciate Bills Mafia, man. It's always great to see you guys. As always, Rev, man. Thanks for having me on. It's been awesome. So, guys, wish you guys nothing but success the rest of the season. I want to see that Lombardi back at Orchard Park, bro. So,
bro, we got to get it. I mean, it ain't back, but we ain't never had it. But yeah, we got to get it. And we got to get an OP big time for Dad's sake, man. Hey, tell the family, bro, I love them. And I'll holler at you later, bro. All right,
hey, man. Appreciate it.
Take it easy. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. There you have it, my brother, my little bro, Tony, aka Chargers fan, die hard. Give a shout out to my brother, man. Drop some fire emojis, mic emojis for my brother. I love that dude. He's a big time Chargers fan, and he knows his stuff. He really does. He's been following that team for a long time, and he knows his stuff. So shout out to him. I'm glad I was able to get him on. And man, I was looking forward to this matchup, to this game with him, and especially with with Justin Herbert at the beginning of the year. Man, I really was looking forward to that, and I hated that he got hurt like that, and just because I knew how much it meant to my brother, man. I mean, just imagine if like Josh Allen, knock on wood, if that happened to Josh, how devastated we'd be as a fan base. So I know he was hurting, man. And he told me, he's like, man, I ain't watched nothing since he went down. Tough. That's tough. But anyway, shout out to my brother. But on my mama, baby, we're still up in this thing. An hour and 35 minutes. We're still up in it. We're still going through On My Mama, and I want to read y'all's On My Mama takes. Amy Wagner comes in. She says, "You're On My Mama. Playoff Lenny is playing. Go Bills." I hope so. I just don't know if they're going to bring him up. I don't know. Kimberly Livingston comes in. She says, "Yo, On My Mama, Josh Allen throws to create touchdowns. This is the game he should practice that. He throws to create touchdowns. This should be the game he should practice that." Well, all right. Throw to create touchdowns. I like it, man. I really do. Let me see here. Prime says, "Yo, pizza rolls." Prime says, "Yo, pizza rolls are done. Have a good night, everyone." Good night, Prime. Appreciate you hopping on. Let me see here. I'm trying to go through the chat, see if I see any more. Oh, yo, Largemouth says, "Yo, I'm the only Bills fan in my family. The rest are Chargers fans. Ain't that something?" Golly. John comes in. He says, "Yo, we need to give a shout out to Dawson Knox. Without his blocking, we wouldn't have run the ball last game. He took out Parsons." Well, I mean, yeah, I mean, shout out to Knox. I mean, I did see some of those clips where he was able to chip on Parsons. But man, this the entire offense, man, the O-line along with the tight ends, man, they did a phenomenal job last week. And I'm hoping that they're able to keep it going from here on out. Because, yo, this Bills team right now, the way they're playing, this kind of feels like 2021 Bills when they got in the playoffs before 13 seconds. You know what I'm saying? And like my brother said, he's like, "Yo, this is the best Bills team I've seen, even better than that team, because they're balanced, because they have a run game. And I'm talking about a legit run game with James Cook. RB1, baby. Mr. RB1. James Cook out of the backfield, not just running the rock, but in the passing game too. And then you have an offensive coordinator in Joe Brady who knows how to scheme him up. I'll say this. Matter of fact, let me put this on my mama. And this really has nothing to do with the game, so to speak. But I'll say this because we're talking about James Cook. On my mama, Joe Brady is going to turn James Cook into the next coming of Alvin Kamara. You heard it here first. Look out for James Cook, man. I'm telling you, that brother right there, he is becoming everything that we anticipated him becoming and more. The Bills drafted him in round 2 out of Georgia for a reason, and now we're starting to see it. And I really think it's been there all along, that it's just the previous OC just wasn't willing to create, you know what I'm saying, and give him the rock. This brother right here, man, is doing it, and shout out to Joe Brady for doing it. Because when you look at Joe Brady and you look at where his stock, where he came from, he was an offensive assistant under Sean Payton with the Saints. Who did he have? Alvin Kamara. Oh, but they also had Mark Ingram, that two-headed monster. And so I think we have the makings of Kamara Ingram 2.0 in Buffalo. We already got the number one in James Cook. Could Ty Johnson be our version of Mark Ingram? I was hoping it was going to be Damian Harris, but he got injured. He's on IR. Maybe the Bills bring in somebody else next year. Leonard Fournette, I don't think they see him beyond this year. So, I mean, we'll see, but I'm loving it, man, because if they have those two guys, if they have a thunder and lightning in the backfield, and James Cook is not just a runner, but also a weapon in the passing game, on top of Stephon Diggs, on top of Dalton Kincaid, You notice how I didn't say Gabe Davis? On top of Khalil Shakir when they play him. Plus, you got to worry about Josh Allen. And that's just on offense. Excuse me. This team it's all there for the Buffalo Bills. It is all there. They just have to put it together. They have to put it together, and I really believe that they're going to do it this year. I really do. But now, as it pertains to the game, let me give you my mama take for the game. On my mama, we will see 2 touchdowns apiece from these 3 offensive players. James Cook, Josh Allen, and Stephon Diggs. 2 touchdowns from apiece. So let's just say, and I'll say James Cook, 2 rushing touchdowns. All right. Josh Allen, 2 rushing touchdowns. I think Josh is gonna run for some. And then of course you've got Stephon Diggs with 2 touchdowns as well. What is that? That's it. Hold on. Wait. Let me back that up. I'll just give Josh 2 in general, because if Steph has 2 touchdowns, obviously Josh has 2. You know what I'm saying? So we'll do it like that. I think it's gonna be a big game from our big 3: Diggs, Allen, and Cook. Defensively, on my mama, yeah, bro, yeah. You do the math. 42 points, right? Am my math right? 7 times 6, 42. There you go. It's a big 40 burger coming. It's a big 40 burger. And matter of fact, let's just go ahead and get on. Let's just get into it, okay? Because y'all already brought it out. Y'all like, 6 touchdowns, man. That's crazy. 6 touchdowns, six touchdowns, Rev. All right, I bet. Well, now let me go ahead and put my music on, okay? Because I got to do that, because you already know what time it is. You already know what time it is. So let me cue up the music. Yeah, there you go. Score prediction time. Score prediction time. So drop your score predictions in the chat right now. You already know. I said 6 touchdowns on offense. I said it, and I ain't backing down from it. The Bills are putting up a 40 burger in LA. I believe that this team is ripe and ready to go. They're locked and loaded. They are in playoff mode right now, and they are here to serve the rest of the National Football League notice that you do not want to see us get in the playoffs. Because if we do, and when we do, we are going on a tear. I don't care if we're the 7th seed or the 4th seed. It makes us no difference. We are going on fire and beating the brakes off of whoever's in front of us, baby. So for me, in LA, my brother said it ain't going to be close. I'm giving the Bills 45. I'm throwing a Bass field goal in there. 45. The Chargers 13. 45-13. Massive win by the Buffalo Bills in LA. Trap game who? Trap game what? Miss me with all that. Bills with another statement win as they continue their trek to win out and get in the playoffs, keeping their postseason hopes alive, leading down to Week 18 clash in Miami for the division. That's my score prediction. What do y'all have? Let me go through the chat right now. Amy Wagner comes in. She says, Bills 38, Chargers 16. I love it. Prime comes in 38-9, Buffalo all day, every day, baby. Day Trooper says, 41-11, Bills. I'm loving it. I'm loving it. I am loving it. I'm loving it. Andrew Holt one-ups me. I said 45. Andrew's like, no, Rev. You're shooting yourself short. 56-10 for Buffalo. John comes in. John Mikowski, 42-16. Bills, baby. I love it. Augustine Sanabria says, all my mama Bills have a field day, 48-10. This is crazy. This is it, man. This is where we are, Bills fan. Bills Mafia. This is where we are. We're at the point right now to where we are picking the Bills and blowout victories. We have, congratulations, we have arrived to where we always knew the Bills were destined to be. It's on top. Glenn comes in and says, yo, 38-13 Bills. Laura, 38-7. I'm feeling it, maybe. Carlos Centron, 35-10. All over the Chargers. Joseph, oh no, Joseph, don't do us like this, Joseph. Please, Joseph. Joseph DeFiena says, yo, 30-24 victory for the Buffalo Bills in overtime. We cannot go to overtime against Easton Stick-led Chargers team. We can't do that. We really can't. Let's hope that doesn't happen. Kim Betts says 40 burger, baby. Might be a shutout. It just might be a shutout. And I think if it comes to that point, you know Sean McDermott, he's a pro's pro. He ain't going to really run up the score like that. He'll have the boys sit out, third quarter, for whatever, and he'll keep it low. He'll be like, all right, that's enough. That's enough. So the only way I see it getting up in the 50s is if the Chargers are still playing hard and they still kind of, you know what I'm saying? But we'll see what happens. But nevertheless, I agree with Kim Betts, 40 burger, no doubt. Max Doberman, 38-10 Bills. I'm loving this. Largemouth Hunter, 48-10 Bills. Bill I Am says, yo, the Chargers are throwing in the towel at halftime. Oh, man. Halftime, the other Allen comes out. The other Allen comes out. Yeah, Kyle Allen comes out and leads the team at halftime. Ooh, man. I'm not going to lie. A game like that, just a type of a big-time, just shellacking, demolishing, not even competitive, of the Chargers would be so great. It'd be what a wonderful way to spend your holidays, right? With the family. For the big-time Buffalo Bills win, where you can just relax, enjoy the game, stress-free, have you some food, have a little eggnog, or a little something in it. You know what I'm saying? Enjoy your friends and your family, your loved ones, all that. And a big-time Bills victory on this happy holiday season. Michael Williams, 40-13, Buffalo. Richard Forbes comes in, 37-17, Bills. Osiris says, yo, we are winning. Well, 100%, Osiris, definitely. See, Cecilia Strickland says 50-14, Bills. And Osiris comes in and says, yo, 58-13, Bills. Oh, man, this is a massive win. The Bills Witch says, yo, 24-21. Just kidding. Go Bills. All right. I'm loving it. And I'm like, oh, my gosh, here we go. Here we go, baby. Look at this. John McCaskey on his alma mama, 6 sacks, 3 picks, baby, from the Buffalo Bills. Richard Forbes says, yo, 4 to 5 weeks ago, we wanted to fire our head coach, LMAO. Well, I was one of them guys. Not going to lie. I was one of them. But this was before he fired Ken Dorsey. It is what it is. I'm glad I was wrong because I don't want McDermott to go right now. I really don't. But it's funny how things turn, right? Don 716, 41-3, Bills, baby. 41-3, Bills. Joseph says, Laura says, yo, LOL, Joseph, no OT, my blood pressure. That's what I'm saying. We can't have that on this Christmas day. On this holiday season, we cannot have our blood pressure going up. Cannot have it. Can't have it. Cody says, yo, it is going to be a blowout shutout victory from the Bills. 40-0. That's it. That is it. I love it, man. I absolutely love it. Glenn. Okay. Oh, we're talking about it. I was like, what? So now we're talking about. So are we? The Bills are going to be so far ahead in the game to where. Well, this is. I'm sorry. I'm tripping because that game is on Sunday. We're on Cowboys Dolphins watch. That's where we are. Cowboys 28, Dolphins 16. Hey, I don't care how what the score is with the Cowboys Dolphins game as long as the Cowboys win. We need a little bit of help. We need a little bit of help. A little bit of help, baby. A little bit of help. And ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, listen up. That is my time. That is my time. Look, I appreciate y'all greatly. Appreciate y'all greatly for joining me on this special edition Rated Rev on Thursday night. Shout out to you guys. There would be no Rated Rev without Bills Mafia and Buffalo Fanatics like you all. I greatly appreciate it. My prayer for y'all is that you have a very blessed, safe, happy holiday season. A very Merry Christmas. Enjoy your time with your families and your loved ones, all of that. Get some much needed rest. You know, all that. I work in education, so I'm enjoying my break right now. I started today. I'm loving it. If you are, to all any of my fellow educators in the world, I don't know when you guys are out for your Christmas break, but if you're out there for your holiday season already, man, enjoy yourselves. Get you some rest. And to everybody else, man, God bless y'all. Grace and peace. And as always, we'll see y'all again this coming Saturday for the pregame show. Keep it locked right here, baby, on the Buffalo Fanatics. Until then, grace and peace. I love y'all. God bless. Happy holidays. Merry Christmas. Go Bills.